Hi, welcome back. I'm Quick Jen, and I am here once again with Ruthan Badd for our second quick collab and for our very first episode of The Bachelorette. So this is Ruthan's baby. So I'm going to hand it over to you so that you can explain how this is going to work to everyone, including myself.
Okay, so obviously, most people who are watching this video already know how things are going to work because there's a big crossover clearly between the Malazan fan community and the sort of bachelorette fan community. For those of you who
hand in hand, I think. Absolutely,
right. And for the small minority who might not be familiar with the structure and the format and so on, fear not, because your high fist is a connoisseur of classy television. So The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, Love Island, these are all my scholarly pursuits, let's say. So what we have here, guys, is a simple task. We're here to find Quick Jen, her ideal Malazan soulmate. We intend to do this on a regular basis, don't we, Jen?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you get your own set of characters next time. So
exactly. So we're going to have the Bachelorette and the Bachelor, multiple episodes, so to speak. For the pilot episode, Jen, you yourself are not aware of what theme I've chosen. So your bachelors today will all be Malazan sidekicks in some way. So all our contestants in today's show, Jen, all these gentlemen vying for your heart, for your attention, they're all number twos, as in they're sidekicks.
Right.
So are you ready to get started? You have 5 roses, Jen. We have 10 contestants. So in round 1, you narrow down the 10 into 5. So you need to give each of them a rose, those that are staying. So you have 5 with you. We then narrow that 5 to 2. And finally, we narrow it down to the man that you want to spend your Malazan life with. So are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay. So contestant number 1, let me pull up the names because I've already forgotten the names that I... Okay, so our first contestant is, he's tall, he's strong, he's extremely masculine, but unfortunately the similarities with Ruthan Badd deviate from that point.
Oh.
His name is Bachelorette. His hobbies include stealing his best friend's love interest, watching as another one of his friends role plays as a dog, and finally haunting the best friend whom he cock-blocked as a ghost that just hovers around him. So Bachelorette, what are your initial thoughts, Jen?
He didn't make a big impression on me. Is he the one that was, so he was the one that was sleeping with Dayless, right? We call it behind Karsa's back, because I'm pretty sure that relationship only existed in Karsa's head.
I mean, that's one of his kinks, though. He does like getting his friends' girlfriends pregnant.
Yeah, right? Which is a little bit concerning. I'm hoping that's not a pattern. I've already got 3 kids of my own, so taking care of other people's kids is not really on the agenda right now. That said, I'm a big Toblikai fan, so I'm gonna keep him on the list.
All right, so wait until you see the next guy.
All right.
So the next guy, his main interest, I would say, is S&M, bondage, chains, handcuffs, things like that. He's quite kinky in that sense. He is the sidekick of a great strategist by the name of Taros Invictad. Contestant number 2 is Tanel Yatvana. He likes it rough, and he's not that smart. Let's put it that way. initial thoughts, Jen?
Yeah, so look, I'm not against a little bit of role playing, but I feel like respecting the safe word is important. And I have some concerns that maybe he's not always willing to do that. So those are my first.
Okay. All right, fair enough, fair enough. Listen, that's fine. Contestant number 3 is Shaik's sidekick. Contestant number 3 is a medical expert of sorts. He likes, as in cosmetic surgery, plastic surgery, that sort of thing would be his area of specialty, because he likes to alter the physical form, so to speak. His name is Bidithal. Some people say he matters. Some people say he doesn't. And that is contestant number 3, Jen. So your reaction, please.
Is that Bharat Guild is looking better and better. I'm really digging the Tebler all of a sudden. Again, I feel like consent is an issue here. Nothing against plastic surgery, but that whole consent thing, it's a sticking point for me.
Okay. So would it be safe to say that you're not a big fan of his surgical skills?
Well, it's the specific focus on little girls that I think especially has me concerned. It feels a little bit like a red flag.
So it's the criminal element that bothers you.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said it's the criminal element that bothers you.
The criminal? No, it's not. It's not that it's a crime. It's about the fact that he's preying on little girls. Again, not necessarily my type.
Okay.
I'm sure he does quite a bit to them, but I don't know that he does to me.
Okay, hey, to each their own. Come on. So our next contestant number 4, is not quite human, but we do know that he has a sharp interest in human women. So he is a sidekick, and therefore I've decided to give him a chance. It's of course your right to reject or accept him as your soulmate. He is a demon. He is Lorik's sidekick. He's a poet. He's very lyrical, and his name is Grey Frog, Jen.
Yeah, I'm not a speciesist. I think he's absolutely in the running here. I think he's a great sidekick and very loyal and funny, makes me laugh, which is important. I'd say he's right at the top right now.
Yeah, well, I've given him pretty good company, to be honest. Contestant number 5. So we are almost at the halfway point of round 1, Jen.
All right, you're not making this easy.
Contestant number 5 is actually a much kinder person than most of his fellow contestants. The problem is that he gets exploited a lot, and he also has a certain undying loyalty, which might sometimes become a burden as well. He is a trell. He cries easily. He is tall and tragic, and once again, not the smartest character in the series, but a somewhat endearing one nonetheless. Mapo Runt. Quick, Jen.
Oh, Mapo. He's a great guy. I feel like he's the type that would be instantly friend zoned quite often. And yet he'd make a hell of a friend. That said, given the choice between forced plastic surgery, being chained to a table, he's a great choice. And I know he's loyal.
Okay, so positive response for contestant number 5.
He'll follow you around.
That vein,
follow you around to the other side of the earth if that's what it takes. Which actually, maybe that's stalker-ish a bit. I have to.
I was just going to say, if you find that attractive, you will love contestant number 6 as well.
All right, let's have it.
Contestant number 6 is similar in that he sticks to you. However, he does have ulterior motives. In terms of his romantic kinks, he's particularly fond of spit play, spit fetishes, and so on. And he even uses that to style his own hair. Contestant number 6 is Maporan's colleague, competitor, rival, Mr. Taralak Veed. What do you think, Jen?
I feel like he's sort of the opposite of Mapo in that what he's lacking is that loyalty. And the fact that he spits a lot, that's somewhat concerning. Although I have no doubt his hair looks fabulous. That one might put a damper on things.
He's not as tall as Mapo either, is he?
No, which is really what I'm basing this on, which is why Bayrath is in the lead right now.
Exactly. Speaking of height, contestant number 7 is sometimes described as being squat, which you might feel is short, and sometimes is described as tall. The one good thing about this contestant, because contestant number 7, is that there will be no pressure to take the relationship further, even if you guys do start dating, because he's not the type of person to pressure his partner into sort of sexual activities, because he is incapable of performing them himself. This is, of course, my favorite character, Baukale's sidekick, the one and only force of nature, Kobal Broach. Are you happy with that choice, Jen? I put that in just for you.
I appreciate that, and I really do feel like of the 3 from those stories, he was the most interesting choice.
Oh, come on, Jen.
Here's the thing. I know it's fictional, and I am happily married. But that said, Dave is very open-minded when it comes to me dating fictional characters, and I think that, you know, having that element to it is important. So I feel like that whole eunuch, is that the right word? Does he have anything down there? I always imagine him as like a doll with like just this blank, like
there's just a layer of skin there.
Yeah, right. That said, I think he's intelligent. I think he's creative. He's got hobbies, which is important. And he's also very loyal. So I think he's an excellent choice.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about hair clogging up the toilet either.
Right.
I mean, the guy's as smooth as a baby. So
a lot of benefits there.
All right. So contestant number 7 seems to be doing quite well. All right. Contestant number 8. I mean, I'll keep contestant number 8 short. So contestant number 8 is a sidekick of sorts. His main calling card is that he has no personality, but this shouldn't be surprising because his entire species has no personality. Contestant number 8 is Anamanda Rake's somewhat sidekick, often tall, the paragon of charisma, the sort of, he really commands a presence whenever he appears on page, and he's such a nuanced, multi-layered character. My God, so interesting. Often tall.
Is turning into a dragon count as a personality trait? Is that?
Well, I think getting killed by an old man in dragon form certainly counts as a personality trait. Yes.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I like.
And the old man's at the bar having a drink in the next scene while you're dead, and you've literally been trying to kill this old man for 5 books now. I'm
assuming in this scenario, I'm dating him pre-death. This is.
Oh yeah, he's not going to pull a Tula Shone on you and turn up as an undead dragon. This is still often tall in his flesh and blood and charisma vacuum sort of type personality. Yes.
He was a cute kid. I don't know if you've read the Carcanis trilogy, but he was cute in that. Like to play fighting and wars. Probably should have practiced a little more, I guess. But yeah, what does he do besides show up and be a dragon and fight and then die?
Yeah, he gets killed. As in he talks a big game and then he gets killed.
Yeah.
That's essentially.
I mean, he's in good company there because that's how Whiskey Jack went down too, but still. Kelleher is an old man.
So no love for contestant number 8, huh?
Well, I mean, we got Vidithal and Tanar on this list, so he's certainly not at the bottom.
Okay, so maybe there is some hope after all. Contestant number 9 is he's a mysterious figure. He's a god. He's someone who looks kind of cool in terms of the character design. His main romantic fetishes include sending children to their deaths as soldiers and then weeping about it as if he's some kind of compassionate entity. So contestant number 9 is everybody's favorite. Wah, wah, look at me, I'm so human, wah, wah, cotillion.
See, I don't think Cotillions all that whiny about it. He has his moments, but
he literally puts his face in his hands or his head in his hands or whatever, and he's like, oh wow, I feel so bad for. Oh, I'm sorry, Jen. This is you are the Bachelorette here. I shouldn't be hijacking this, but
no, actually, crying at the deaths of children is high on my list of desirable qualities in a man. It really is. So that doesn't put me off at all. He's an accomplished killer. The possession of young girls again is an issue, but like I said, he looks really cool and he can fight like a badass. So he's got that going for him.
So love does indeed blossom in unlikely places. Who would have thought? All right. And finally, we have contestant number 10. Contestant number 10 is a sidekick, as with all our previous contestants. He's not a very talkative man, but he is a loving man. He's not a very talkative man, but he is a kind man. And if you go to the list of characters, the dramatis personae or whatever, of Toll the Hounds, you will see that he's not described as a gentleman. He's described as a gentle man. And contestant number 10 is the master orator himself, Barathol's sidekick, Char.
Char. All right. Oh, that makes it tough. He's a good guy, but he's also mentally like a child, right?
He's a gentleman, though.
He is a gentleman and he's a good man, but I think I mentioned that I already have kids and am not really looking for more at this point. He would be great with the kids, though, I have to say. So maybe sheerly for just the babysitting services and that sort of thing, might be nice to have around the house.
And if you have a farm, you can use him like an ox. I mean, it's a big, strong man as well.
I don't have a farm, but yeah, we can have him out there pushing the lawnmower with a kid on each arm, and I think this could work.
Yeah, not bad. So Jen, those are our 10 contestants. You have 5 roses. So it's your turn now to give out 5 roses to 5 of our 10 contestants.
Oh, all right. So there are some that I wrote them down as you were saying, because I knew there was no way I was going to remember all 10. There are some that I feel like I can rule out pretty quickly, like Tanar and Vidithal. not my thing. And honestly, even with Tanar, it comes down to just that whole consent thing and lack of confidence, really, that belief in himself that's missing, that I think is so important, right? In terms of finding another person attractive. Who else? So we've got Mappo, Brooch, Terlac Veed. All right, he's out. Sorry, the spit thing. Like, I feel like there are some really terrible moments in these books, and yet him spitting on his hands and wiping his hair with it, it really stands out.
But in today's age of climate change and environmental degradation and things like that, would it not be nice to have someone close by who could hydrate you if that was required?
You make an interesting point, but I'll also remind you that in today's age of a pandemic, that just that personal hygiene piece and sort of keeping bodily fluids to yourself really is more important than ever.
That is true. I've not thought of that. Yes, romance does
really,
change.
I mean, that's all it comes down to. Just the pandemic has changed everything. Otherwise, I'd be all over that.
Okay. So no rose for Terlac Veed then.
No
so
rose. No. Okay. All right. So I'm definitely keeping Mappo.
So are we confirming it? Mappo gets a rose?
Mappo gets a rose. Yes.
Okay, Mappo gets a rose. Let me just highlight Mappo's name here. All right, so Mappo gets one. We have 4 roses left.
Okay. I think I'm going to give one to Bayroth Guild, because, you know, after we talked, I started remembering he was sort of always the voice of reason with Karsa. He seemed like a sensible, intelligent guy, and I appreciate that. So I'm going to give him a rose. I'm going to let him stick around a little longer.
Okay, Bayroth Guild, the guy who tucked Karsa all along, so to speak. All right, he gets the 2nd rose.
It actually continues to offer great advice and insight even after he's gone. So
yes,
again, we've got that loyalty piece. There, a lot of these guys tend to. Oh, I guess that makes sense. They're sidekicks, which is why they're always following people around, huh? Oh. All right. So I'm gonna give Cotillion a rose.
Okay, so obviously the god gets the rose. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
What is the point of ascending if it doesn't get you a leg up on the Bachelorette, right?
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure that's why you did it. Okay.
Shadow Throne did it for me and Cotillion did it for you.
Oh, you just wait. Let's see. You know, I appreciate his inclusion, but I think Roach has to go.
I mean, you're going to reject him over Orphantal and all these other scumbags that I put in there?
I'm assuming Orphantal has all his working parts, so that's kind of a sticking point for me.
But he has no person. At least Cobble Broach has. Okay, he doesn't really have a personality, but he still has more of a personality than Orphantal.
He spends time with other people who have personalities. That's what he does. Although I feel like
But none of them have a personality.
What do you?
Who does Orphantal spend time with who has a personality?
Char has a person. Grey Frog definitely has a personality. Grey Frog is getting rose.
Okay, so
yeah.
Grey Frog gets the 4th rose.
Yes.
Jen, we have one more.
I feel all right. So one more. It's down to Char and Orphantal. And here's the thing: is the only thing Orphantal has going for him is that he's completely unobjectionable. Like, there's just nothing wrong with him. He's a perfectly fine guy.
But that's not what you're looking for in a soulmate.
No,
you're looking for someone.
But the Char thing, I feel a little predatory keeping him around. You know, mind of a child thing. That's where I'm getting stuck.
But there would at least be some practical application to it.
Yeah. Yeah, in terms of who do I want to spend some time with?
Whom your guests would find entertaining. Imagine inviting your friends over to meet your spouse and
Right.
they meet often tall. My God, at least with Shaw, it would be like, oh, hey, buddy, blah, blah, blah. There would be a certain condescending tone, but they would still find it entertaining. Whereas often tall would just be that miserable, grumpy guy with absolutely nothing going for him, who just sits in a corner and speaks to nobody.
Yeah. All right. I do like Char better than Orphan Tall. I'm keeping Char. I am.
Okay, so the man on the outside, child on the inside, Mr. Shaw gets the final rose.
Yes.
All right, Jen. So we have Bairoth Guild, Grey Frog, Mapo, Cotillion, and Shaw.
Yeah. I feel like out of the 10, I think those 5 were the right choice. I'm
Yeah.
happy with this. Yeah.
And we now need to go through these 5, and you need to decide who the final 2 roses.
All right.
So why don't you tell me some personality traits that you are looking for in your Malazan soulmate? And perhaps we can look at which 2 of these 5 fit that profile the best.
Oh, so here's the thing is I want there's a lot of miserable things happening in Malazan, so I really appreciate the characters that can make me laugh. Interesting dialogue is a plus. Have some good conversations. And yeah, I think those are my 2 top traits that I'm looking for at this point.
Okay, so if humor is important, obviously Mapo and Cotillion have to be disqualified. Neither of them have a humorous bone in their body. Please, come on.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like Cotillion could be witty in the right circumstances. No?
No, he can't. He's too busy being melancholic and tragic.
Yeah, all right. Okay, here's the problem is a character cries in one scene and you just write them off forever. Like that's pretty much the deciding factor for you.
He has this whole, oh, look at my moral turmoil, look at my moral conflict in almost every scene that he appears in.
I disagree. I really feel like he could polish up quite well. Mappo.
There's just one scene where he has a slightly funny.
Do you think Mappo is always sort of like sad and down, or that's purely a byproduct of him following Icarium around all the time? The tragedy of being Icarium's friend.
So it could be true that he was once a bright, bubbly young trell with a sort of sunny outlook on life and a positive attitude towards dealing with people and being friendly and sort of energetic and all that. It could be possible that he's just been browbeaten.
Something else to consider is that bag. I feel like he could just carry all my things for me quite easily, which is really nice.
But Shaw could do that with a smile, whereas Mapo would be doing that in a melancholic way. So Shaw would still do that and he would be happy.
Yeah, but who's the Bachelorette here, huh? Me or you?
Oh, sorry. I mean, my estrogen gets pumping sometimes.
Well, I understand. You start thinking about Char and you get all hot and bothered, but please try and control yourself.
I'm already sweating.
All right. It is hard saying goodbye to Mappo. This is much harder this round. Cotillion can go. And Char.
Okay, so he doesn't get the rose.
Yeah. I love him, but he can go because again, I feel like it's a big responsibility having him around, and I want somebody to sort of help carry the load, not be yet another kid I've got to look after and make sure they're okay. Because Char gets himself into trouble a lot. All right, so we've got Mappo, Gray Frog, and Bayroth. Oh, I can't believe Gray Frog is at the top of my list.
Gray Frog might win. Yeah, you just wait.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I mean, thing is,
He's funny. You can have good conversations. Everything that you said, Jen, more or less matches up the best.
That's
Gray
Gray
Frog.
Frog, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
The talking in your head thing might get a little annoying after a while. He can just,
But he can share those thoughts with you unless you're pregnant.
right. That's off the table, so we're good there.
You could literally be at a party, Jen, and you guys could be making fun of everybody there internally, and
See,
no one would know.
Gray Frog would be a lot of fun, right?
Yeah.
Bayroth killed. That's another one where he's almost in orphan tall territory for me.
Who?
Bayroth Guild.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised that he lasted this long, to be honest.
Yeah,
I wanted my boy Cobble Broach to be in the top 5 instead of him.
I know you did, but it's the tall thing. I like the height. Although Orphan Tall didn't make it, and he's probably he had that covered as well. All right. So
and Gray Frog shot, but never mind.
Okay, all right. Those are my final 2 roses then. Mappo and Gray Frog.
Wow. The final 2 contestants are the only 2 non-human, I guess Orphan Tall's non-human as well, but are the 2 non-human, visibly non-human contestants.
I'm very open-minded when it comes to life partners. Absolutely.
So Jen, so this is where you decide whether you're the type of girl who goes for the looks or the type of girl who goes for the personality, because you said you like tall and Mappo's tall while Gray Frog short. Mm-hmm. You also said you like funny, so Gray Frog's funny while Mappo's not. You said you'd like to have good conversations with them. You can have deep, melancholic conversations with Mappo where you both cry, or you can have deep, cheerful conversations with Gray Frog where you can both laugh. So it's time for you to reveal, Jen, what kind of girl you are deep down inside. Are you the type to go for the looks, or are you actually one of those girls who go after personality?
You didn't have to set it up. I think I've known since you named all 10 that my heart belongs to Gray Frog, and it always will.
All right, guys, you just heard it there. It's official. The first winner of the Bachelorette Malazan edition is the one and only Gray Frog. Yep. Jen, congratulations. I'm sure the 2 of you would make it. Go on.
I just got to point out that I got rid of Broach for his inability to perform in the bedroom, and then went with Gray Frog at the end. And believe me, that's not on the table here at all. So I might have been a little unfair to Broach, but really, come on, it's we all know that in that duo, it's all about Vocalade. It just is.
That's true. I mean, that is one argument against Cobble Broach that I cannot refute, Jen. So nonetheless, I am happy for Gray Frog. I think the 2 of you will do very well together. I think he's very creative and quick-witted, and Gray Frog can always sort of, you can even put him in situations where he loses his life and he would just come back as a small, tiny thing that grows back into his original form. So I know you're really big into family.
I'll be honest, I can't believe that wasn't on my list, really.
The immortality?
Characteristics, yes, that I look for in a life partner, that being able to regenerate. I just wasn't thinking, or it would have been there.
Exactly. So Jen does find the process of molting to be extremely sort of charming, so to speak. So I was just going to say, Jen, I know you're really big into family, so it shouldn't be a surprise that you're ending up with a familiar, if that pun works. I just thought of that, Jen. Come on, give me some credit. So that is our pilot episode of the Bachelorette Malazan edition. So Jen, I hope you're happy with your pick, and I hope you are satisfied with my hosting skills for this coveted game show, because as you know, there's a big demand these days on both Malazan and YouTube for sort of reality TV based episodes like this. So I'm glad we've been able to beat out the competition, and I hope I did you proud, Jen.
I appreciate it. I think this was a wonderful idea. I had a lot of fun, and get ready because it is your turn next.
Okay, so I already know who I'm going to end up with, so I'll keep that as a surprise.
Let's hear it.
But I have no idea who you're going to sort of suggest.
So
okay.
In some ways, my job is a little easier than yours because we did agree that I would choose women for you, you would choose men for me, or males and females, I suppose we should say. And there are far fewer females in the books than there are males. So I've got a more limited pool to work with. But you'll have to wait and find out.
Yeah. And I wouldn't really be apologetic about going after looks either. So the minute one of those 10 is even somewhat attractive, I might just jump on board and declare my undying love. So I'm quite shallow that way, Jen. So maybe it'll be easy.
I expect nothing less.
Yeah. So back to you. I hope you sort of found this to be good. How long have we been going?
I have no idea, but I think it was definitely shorter than the last one. We're getting closer. We're getting better on these quick collabs, and we'll do this again soon. I had a lot of fun, and thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. And the next time we meet, I will be the one in the hot seat, so to speak.
All right. Bye.